Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new video here on the channel. So I hope you guys are all having an amazing Friday afternoon or morning, wherever you are. Wait, today's not Friday. I just ruined it, man. Now I'm sad that it's not Friday. Dang it. Anyways, hope you guys are having an amazing Thursday afternoon / morning, wherever you are. In this video, we're going to be talking about writers. Just go down to the basics of Atlas because, I haven't done this sort of video in quite a while now. Like, I've been doing, seasonal stuff and random junk and, maybe not junk. Well, maybe junk. Some people would agree with that. But it's been a while since I've actually done a writer video and explaining how it works for newer players. So I'm going to do Atlas 101, a series for Atlas guides on a ton of stuff for Atlas. So if you have any specific questions, maybe like some leader questions or something like that, how to not be hated by everyone in Atlas, that sort of thing, definitely put it down in the comment section below and I will be more than happy to make a video on it. So let's talk about writers really quick. So there's a couple different types of writers. Okay, there is Atlas seasonal writers, which, if you notice, use the purple and blue shards. You'll notice that there's different types of shards that are used as well, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But there are seasonal writers from Atlas. Okay, there are the normal Atlas writers, which all look kind of the same except they have just different colors. And I'll explain the differences between them in just a second. Then you have the normal game season writers, okay? And all of them level up a little bit differently. So we're going to start out with the seasonal writers because I feel like those will take the least amount of time, right? So the seasonal writers, all right? You do not have to use glory to level them up. You use the shards that come in their line, right? A lot of people ask, like, hey man, if I level them up, the normal season writers, for example, Kayla, or from this season, Reginald, right? So let's say you get Reginald and you're like, all right, it's Prim leveling event in Atlas, do I get points if I level him up? The answer to that is no, because points are based on the glory you use and the red rider shards, or blue or purple, depending on which one you use. In this case, you use none of those. You use the special tokens or the special shards for this particular rider from the season, so you do not get points. However, these do offer a good amount of bonuses. So that is the normal Atlas or normal season riders. Once a normal game season ends, you are unable to get any more of the shards, so that's kind of where you're at with that level-wise. There's no way to, like, continue leveling it unless you have the shards. Now the next type are the Atlas season riders. Now we've had a couple so far. Kratos, this one's Matthew because it kind of looks like me, sort of. He's a little bit not as tan as this one, so I feel like, yeah, it's kind of me. I don't remember. I think it's like Adriel and Adriac or something like that. Something like that. So these two, yeah, this one, Sophia from last season, and then you have Wakanda Forever. Doesn't this guy look like the people from, like, Wakanda? Come on, like, you can't tell me that does not look like the people from Wakanda. All right. So these are different from the normal season riders. Even though they are technically from a season, these do use glory. Now, this guy is a defense rider, and a big question I get is, how do you get glory on defense riders? Well, I'll tell you, all right? Even though it's a defense rider, you can still equip it on dragons you are using for attacks, and this is the most efficient and fast way to do it. So what I do personally is I use UVS for a lot of Atlas runs because he's fast. He has that speed up spell, right? So I equip this guy with gear on my dragon that I use for Atlas runs, and then I attack an Atlas. If you don't know how to get glory, I have an entire video on it. It's still relevant. It's still relevant even for today. So that is one way to do it. You don't necessarily have to just get glory from defending using defense riders. You can actually use it for attacking and still get the glory, and that's the best way to do it. These are hired using the purple shards, I believe, or blue. No, sorry, they are hired using the blue shards. Now, the blue shards are not specific for one particular rider. So let's say you got 150 blue shards from last season and then 100 this season. You could actually use those, even though they are technically from two different seasons, to get this particular rider. which is awesome. I think that's nice because then even if you miss out on the rider from last season, you can actually still get it. And the last season's rider was amazing. Now, once you get it, you actually have to use the red shards. Now, this rider does give points in the Primarch leveling event, so that's something to keep in mind. And then you have these Atlas riders that are not specific to a particular season. They are just something that you get for just playing Atlas. Now, there are a couple really good uses for them, okay? So here's how you tell them apart, all right? So there's a warrior rider, there's a sorcerer rider, there's a hunter rider, and then there is a defender, or a defense rider. There are bonuses to these riders, so let me show you first how to tell them apart. Now, the actual name of these does not actually tell you whether or not it's a warrior or a hunter. However, if you go down to train and you click on the last two right here, you'll notice that it says plus 10% warrior dragon HP and plus 10% warrior dragon attack. Then let's say we go to Fenrir. I believe this is called Vanquisher. You'll notice that this says hunter attack. And then if you go down to the pink one, you'll notice that says sorcerer. So that's how you tell them apart. You look at the final little piece on the like the training. You also have a defense rider, and now the defense rider is really, really good for the decrease in construction time. And this is definitely, in my opinion, the first rider that you should be going for, especially if you're free to play. This is a minus 12% construction time, which is nuts for saving a bunch of timers. So definitely, if you have not already, go for this guy, get this construction time, if nothing else, and he will benefit you a ton. Now, another question that I get about riders is how do they work with dragons, right? Because people are like, oh, so I got Reginald, and let's say, oh, he's a dark dragon rider. The issue with that is that there is no such thing as a element specific dragon rider. Dragon riders are elemental neutral, so I can put this rider on any type of dragon regardless of its element. However, if I try, let me make sure I have gear on it. No, I don't have gear on it. Let's say I have this one, for example. This has dark gear, right? So let's say I try and equip it to a wind dragon. You'll notice it says cannot bond Druid's Guardian to Orthoraptor because gear's element type does not match with dragon's element. So in order for me to actually bond this dragon rider with a wind dragon, I would have to remove all of the dark gear that is already on the dragon itself. Or not, on the rider itself, right? But there is no such thing as an elemental specific rider at this point, so just keep that in mind whenever you're like trying to debate whether you're going to get a rider in the Atlas or the normal game season. You can put it on whatever dragon you want. The gear is the element specific item, not the rider. So, there we go. I guess that will wrap this up. Hopefully it helped you guys out. I know it's like pretty quick, pretty basic, but I hope this, makes sense to you guys. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like down below and subscribe if you're new. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, fellas.